All right, everybody. We're just going to wait on Bobby. And there it is. I see Fred Van Vliet is ruled out. Ah, very nice. So, as I said, it's probably going to be that Malachi Flynn season, which is always really nice. What would a season be without it being Malachi Flynn season? So, welcome to Malachi Flynn season. So nice to see you.
Good to see you. So I think Cheats, I was thinking maybe we start with baseball for 30 minutes and then we do basketball. What do you think about that?
Yeah, or we could just we could do baseball for 30 minutes and then I could just unregister from all the basketballs. I could try that also.
We'll find some plays. We've got some. I got some.
You got some good ones? Okay, good.
So I got some ones that can get you different, I think. But guys, thanks for joining us. Really excited. I think that in the next week and a half or so, I'm planning to spend some time this weekend on it. We should have the site up and running pretty soon, which is exciting. So, with that said, we can get to baseball. I think it's a pretty straightforward slate. I changed a few things because of some of the lineups that we talked about earlier. So what sort of stands out to you, Sheets, as what we've gathered since we sort of talked earlier?
Well, I have bad news for myself, I guess. I'm pretty confident with what I want to do here.
Perfect.
And it's what I said before, is that if they're gonna go ahead and make this Rodon character chalk, I'm gonna be stacking Seattle. So that's
I love it.
That's probably what I'm gonna be doing. And unfortunately, what's his name is out. Trammell is not playing. So gotta check the lineup for that. But it's all pretty affordable, and I could also get in some cool one-offs with it. And that's if I play, DeGrom in May, and May. Again, I feel as though there's two ways you could go here. You could three ways. One is you could toss DeGrom and just go YOLO with whatever two pitchers and just stack up these big hitters, or you play DeGrom and do one of two things: either just kind of spread out your SP2 exposure among all the candidates, and then by definition, unless you mass enter, you have less hitting, or just take a stand with some one SP2, and then allows you to do a couple of more things with the hitting. And I think I've just kind of made peace that I'm going to give the Dustin May a shot, and not going to play any of the Rodon. And I'll stack some Seattle, and then I'll mix around like that. I'm only going to play like maybe 7-10 lineups on DraftKings, maybe even less on FanDuel. And I've been playing Seattle, then I'm going to go back, probably play some Tampa, maybe some Milwaukee, but I'm definitely not playing Rodon.
I am going to have some Rodon just because got a couple of big buy-ins that I like, and I'm trying to get a couple pay downs and try and skip DeGrom in one of my big lineups on DraftKings. And I actually am trying to do the same thing on FanDuel, and I think that Dustin May is the guy I'm still using over there. I also think that guys like Morjan, who I didn't talk about much earlier for San Diego, have sort of popped up, and some people have made some good points about him. I don't know what his leash is going to be, and that worries me a lot, especially because he's not like super cheap. But that's one guy I'm considering. Pivetta is another one who I mentioned earlier. And we've also got – I'm trying to see if there's anybody else I made a note of that I really wanted to. I still think just taking some shots on DeScalfani is not the worst idea in the world. I really do. I know it's a high-risk play, but I don't think it's a terrible idea to go for it. So those are my other guys.
You mentioned Avisail Garcia. Do you like him or no?
I do like Avisail Garcia. I haven't gotten my ownership projections here updated. I like Avisail Garcia quite a bit. I've also turned a lot more to the Mets since we talked earlier, and I've turned a little bit more on. I still really like this White Sox thing, and I'm not quite sure. I got to double check the ownerships now. By this NBA slate is crazy. Now Rubio's active. Okay. Anyway, sorry.
Really?
Yeah. I think you're going to get an incredibly low-owned White Sox stack that I think has a ton of power potential, and we sort of talked about that a few days ago when you got him right. I think this is a spot where you can take a shot with the White Sox a lot. And, you know, we actually
we don't even have a lineup though.
That's exactly why they are going to be even lower owned. All the late games in baseball are like this. And by the way, if you feel like switching or you want to mix it up, or you've got a few lineups with White Sox and you want to cut it in half and have them, if you have the Dodgers and you want to cut it in half with White Sox later, if you're kind of struggling early, the White Sox are going to be lower owned, so you can go there. It gives you some options for playability if you play those late games, and also people are always off of them, especially in pitchers' parks like Seattle. I also want to pick on Matt Moore. I talked about that with the Mets, but I really think the White Sox are a good. In my opinion, shouldn't be sneaky stack, but because of their prices, they will be low owned. So I'm interested in them. Outside of Mercedes will be high owned, but other than that, they'll be low owned. I do like Mercedes though too. So do you want to do your favorite per position, I guess?
I don't know. We did all that already. You know what I mean? I just kind of want to work through lineups. You know, I don't know.
All right. Well, some interesting construct. I've got a couple wraparound stacks with the Dodgers on FanDuel, especially, and you can do it on DraftKings too. Actually, it doesn't really matter because you've got the cheap McKinstry. I can never pronounce his name right. McKinstry batting ninth.
I don't even know who that is. What team is he on?
Dodgers.
Okay.
So if you're going to build a 5-man Dodgers stack, I'm going to probably include him in a wraparound. And kid's got some talent. I guess they didn't give him a home run in the inside the Parker that he hit the other day. I also like Rios a ton. He's got just massive power upside. So you can include those guys and do a wraparound with playing either Betts or jumping over to Seager in second, skipping Betts. You can play Muncy, you can play Bellinger with them, and they keep it kind of more affordable. Even though Rios is kind of expensive, I think that'll keep people off of them. This slate is getting crazy. This NBA slate, jeez.
He's going to get in for you think? Rios?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry about this. I just double checking these things. No, Rios is in the lineup.
Okay. Do we have lineups for
the Dodgers lineup? We have most lineups, just not the White Sox.
Okay. We don't have San Francisco.
And the Giants. Yeah.
Okay.
White Sox and Giants and great. Okay.
So right now I have a little bit of I listened to you a little bit. I have a little bit of DeGrom May. I have DeGrom May. I have this is for DraftKings. I can't show it because DraftKings is a pain in the ass. I have DeGrom May. I have DeGrom Morojan. I don't think I'm playing enough lineups where I'm going to be able to get off DeGrom.
Okay.
But I'll root for you.
No, I mean, I'm not prioritizing. I'm not only doing, I'm trying to get a little bit different. And you're talking about like on FanDuel, the savings are much more significant to where, there's no reason why we couldn't have somebody within 10 to 15 points of DeGrom tonight. And you can get different with your lineups that way. So that's my justification for why I would do it. And also I'm just going to take a quick look at the ownership percent like here. I mean, you've got Rodon is going to be popular. So I just don't think anyone's playing Dustin May at all. And I do think he's got upside, and it's high variance. Don't get me wrong. Like, with the Dodgers, you never know, but in terms of talent on this slate, he's the second best pitcher on the slate. And that's good enough for me against a team that strikes out a lot. So that's what I'm doing. I'm not telling everybody else to do it, but that's what I'm going to be doing. And I would like to get probably a little more Rodon on FanDuel because I think he actually has the upside, to get there.
It definitely makes sense.
So he'd be the other pivot, but he's going to be the popular pivot off of DeGrom. He's going to be probably in the 20s or maybe 50, maybe high teens.
On FanDuel? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. But so
the other thing I want to say is that Tom Murphy, a cheap catcher for Seattle, has got a good lineup spot. He's hitting 6th.
That's interesting. So I actually think that becomes a really good catcher play then, and I think it's not going to be lost on people either. But no. I do like it.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's weird because the cheap catchers are actually guys I like. They're guys I like tonight actually. So that's kind of nice. Let's see. I've got Muncy over there. I'm just trying to figure out some lineup builds here.
Yeah.
Guys, drop in QQs and please smash the like button if you get a chance. We always appreciate that.
So let me take a look at some of these. So you have Rios. Would you play him at first base or third?
I would play
third, right?
Probably Rios at third. Yeah, I like first better than third today.
Who's hitting ninth there for the Dodgers?
McKinstry.
Yeah. Is he going to get all his at-bats, you think?
Not necessarily. I don't know, Dodgers. I mean, nobody but the top guy. I mean, well, I guess that's not true. Pretty much Taylor, it's hard to know, to be honest. It's definitely a way of getting different with the Dodger stack. You're not playing.
Is this guy any good though? I mean, have you heard of him?
Yes. Yes, he is. Yes, and he's got talent. I'll just say that. I mean, he's a talented guy for sure. And Tatis. No, I want to do this. Conforto. Ugh. I'm going to play a little bit of. I'm doing some of these lefties from the Mets just to get a little different with some of the stacks. I guess I got.
Well, you could just play Pilar, man. That's. I mean,
Pilar's the awesome easy play. I think everybody's going to play Pilar.
Okay.
I just don't think that anything's updated because he wasn't there. I mean, at least that's what they should. So if they don't, that's great for us. But I definitely have Pilar already. I'm just trying to get my lineup set for the baseball thing. Mostly I can do most of my baseball after we're done with the show, so I'm not going to try and edit all of my lineups with baseball right now. And I will take a look in chat, see real quick what we've got going, and we can jump over. I mean, I don't think there's a whole lot more unless we have direct questions about baseball to cover, because I really think we did touch on everything.
Yeah, I just want to finish up these last. Again, I only have a couple of lineups here on DraftKings. Just going to do two more. Mm-hmm. Actually, you know what I am doing? I am going to do this because this looks so freaking sweet. If it could ever come in, I'm playing one lineup with. I'm playing a couple of actually YOLO lineups. I'm playing a couple. Like I got a Dustin May and Morojan lineup.
Yeah, I've got stuff like that. But mostly, if I'm doing it, I'm trying to stay all the way down and play May with DeGrom. Just because, I mean, look, people aren't going to play Dustin May that much anyway, but I still like it better that way, just going for max upside and then going the other route, which is, hey, get me my 30 to 35 combined points and I'm thrilled. And who cares if DeGrom and somebody else put up 45? We've already got different than they are.
Yeah, there's one stack I want to take care of, and then I can get back to business. I want to just get my Tampa stack in because I do want to get at least one of those. Got this, I got this, and then yeah, I agree with you. By the way, about the excuse me, about the Mets. I'm a little nervous. I don't have more of that.
Yeah. The Mets.
How expensive is Joey Wendell? Jesus.
Yeah, I know it's not a fun roster exactly. So the White Sox lineup is out. I'm going to take a quick look at it real quick and see if anything I need to change. We need to. Did they sit Anderson? Because that's what I figured they probably would do. If
they are sitting Anderson.
No, I don't know yet. I'm trying to check. Let's see. Update. And we will get right there. But yeah, guys, we really appreciate you guys tuning in for all this time with us. We'll have things a lot more, organized. We got some cool new tools too that I think people will find helpful, and we'll obviously be there to go back and forth with you guys. The White Sox, no Tim Anderson, which I sort of expected, even though I of course put him in my early builds because I really wanted to stack the White Sox and I wasn't going to skip Tim Anderson against the lefty.
What about now? Let's talk about FanDuel for a second. I mean, anything. Where are you going there? You think? So how much? Well, okay. Let me ask you another way. How many of your line? I mean, what percent DeGrom versus non-DeGrom and FanDuel do you have?
I would say I still have especially of my higher buy-in stuff, but I think it's about 60% of DeGrom. Okay. And basically splitting a little bit of Rodon and May, and really not doing a whole lot else over there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm going to actually do a quick thing, and I know one guy who knows it. I know the Dodgers well, but he specifically his whole life.
Oh, I heard something, by the way. So I heard that in Oakland,
Yeah.
Actually, there's a little wind blowing out, and it's a little humid.
Yeah, it is humid. I noticed that. It's not. Yeah, there's. I like the Dodger bats, but I don't think it's the. I don't think you have to play them on this slate. This is not, like Coors. And by the way, the Dodgers are going to be low owned on DraftKings.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean,
yeah. That's something we should probably try to attack. Yep. I mean, actually, the stacks I like are pretty low owned tonight, so I feel pretty good about it. The Dodgers, Padres, that these are the two of the best offenses in baseball. The Mets, I like the Mets offense, but they're going to be pretty popular. Obviously, no one's playing the Phillies. I'm trying to look at who else is going to have the ownership. I think the Boston's going to have some teens to 20s. I think Tampa Bay will have some. I think Milwaukee will have a bunch. Probably the chalkiest one.
You think so?
I think Milwaukee and Chicago. People see the wind in Chicago and they just go nuts. And I understand it. It's not wrong even. It's just we don't need to play guys at 500% ownership. You know what I mean? When there's a lot of good options on the slate and it's not that big of a slate. I mean, and there's still plenty of great pivots off these guys. I still think that Javi Baez is my favorite shortstop, which is always hard to get out of my mouth because I love Seager so much. But I do love Baez, and I like Chris Bryant a lot today, which is everybody's going to. So I'll probably be a little below the field on him just because I think he's going to be. I don't like playing all these popular hitters, and Contreras is going to be really popular as well. I think Marisnik will be an easy spend down. I think people will forget about guys like Bodie, and I actually think Happ is a really good play because of his price is going to keep people off him, but he's got some power, and at the top of that lineup with the wind blowing out, he's definitely interesting to me. And then you get Matt Duffy would be the other low-owned guy probably, along with the obvious one, who's Rizzo, which, by the way, Rizzo hits lefties for power for his career. You can look it up. You can play Rizzo in your stack and just be different that way too. Bradley Beal is out now, by the way, too.
So you get Westbrook and Luka.
You get Westbrook and Luka or Harden if you want him. Yeah. It's interesting, just even from a projection standpoint, that I understand where some of it is, but guys like Bellinger, who are, I mean, the difference is so minimal, but I don't know. I just feel like Cody Bellinger is going to be 1/6 the ownership of Christian Yelich. That's appealing to me, and I think that's actually probably about close to accurate. Maybe it gets to be 4-1 or something, but still, it's going to be a pretty significant gap. Mike Trout is going to be 3 or 4 times, or Mike Trout will be half his own probably as Yelich. People aren't going to play Brandon Lau's price as much outside of Tampa Bay stacks, and I love him. There's a lot of different ways you can get off the chalk. Francisco Lindor is going to be crazy chalk at shortstop. I mentioned that there's 3 other shortstops that I love, so I'll have some Lindor, but I'm probably going to be lower than the field on him as well. I do need to remove Tim Anderson from the lineup before I forget. And
yeah, that would be smart.
Yeah, Nick. So we've got Madrigal batting leadoff for them. Their stack is a little less appealing without him. No doubt about that. Without Robert. And you have Vaughn, who takes up an outfield spot and all that. So do we want to do that? Because I want to play Robert in the stack if I'm going to play it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to get this first. DeJounte Murray's out.
DeJounte Murray is out.
This is going to be a nuts slate in basketball. I'm glad I'm only playing a few. They're big lineups, but there's only a few of them for me. I just can't. It's too much stuff going on here.
It's all right. I mean, as long as you basically we can hand build all the stuff.
Yep. Oh, yeah. And I think that if you're not going to play DeGrom in any lineup, just for those of you out there who want to be creative like me and overly creative probably, you can play Alec Baum, I think, at 3K at third base. I actually don't think that's a bad play. Not
you know what? There were 2 guys that I was interested in playing on Philly if I was going to play anybody from Philly. Yeah. One was going to be Baum, and the other was going to be the guy you like, the Harper.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fine. DeGrom will give up home runs occasionally, and that's I like the idea of trying to pick one off of some of the chalk. So
Now again, for those who are going to ask, I don't think the slate is small enough to play guys against your guys today.
It's not quite, yeah. I mean, sure, it always could work out, but it's just I don't think that's optimal at all.
Maybe before I forget, maybe I should just take Van Vliet out of these lineups before I do something stupid like forget, right?
Just do it now. Yeah, just we'll jump over to basketball in a minute. I'll answer some questions on baseball in a second once I'm done with this. Just getting these guys out of my lineup because I just, you know what, you try to sometimes you forget and you feel like the dumbest person alive. It feels really bad.
So so we'll go over to NBA in a few minutes, and you want to do that? You want to answer some questions on
some questions to miss on baseball. So yeah, guys, drop them in if there are them, and we'll jump right over to NBA afterwards.
I'm gonna read you all my now. What you said that Rubio is active or in?
He's active,
right?
And D'Angelo Russell's playing, so basically everything in that game except for Cat is not very interesting to me.
Okay, that's it. So good. So we don't have to play Jordan McLaughlin.
No, we don't.
Okay.
And
I was looking for pivots as we speak. So there you go.
Boom. Yeah, there you got it.
But DeJounte Murray, you say is out, or Derek White?
DeJounte Murray.
Okay.
Indeed. Yeah, that makes my initial love for DeRozan look a little better, and I think Derek White as well. Yeah. By the way, I really don't love the third base on DraftKings today. Isn't that like? I think I'm just putting this out. It's like I think it's maybe one of the weakest spots on the slate.
DraftKings? Which one?
Third base. Not a huge fan of it. I'm trying to it's funny. I'm trying to double stack the Mets and my one Mets Cubs lineup, but I'm doing it without each side without Lindor and without Bryant, just to try and get a little different when you do play the chalky stacks. I guess that's worth like pointing out to people in case they're ever interested. And yeah, I mean it's pretty crazy. The Dodgers are not going to be owned here tonight, and I think that might be something I have to do some of. Yeah, I think I do. Oh boy. All right, let's do it.
We're gonna save this, and then I'm gonna rerun. Now, is it? Yeah, it's late enough to update the NBA now, right? I don't think anything.
It should
be.
There's going to be things that just keep popping up with the NBA, in my opinion.
You think so?
It's only, yeah. I mean, it's I don't know. We'll see. We got 35 minutes. Let's see. Oakland.
I can tell with my baseball, which is good. Okay, good.
The one thing you could do, by the way, if you got really stuck, you could play a catcher against one of the cheap pitchers if you needed to, because they're so cheap on either side. But you don't really need to.
Well, that's what I'm playing Murphy.
Yeah, playing Murphy with Rodon would be the obvious example of that. But then again,
you mean in the same lineup?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So when did this news come out on most recent? I need to know like what time the most recent updates probably would have been. So what was the most recent news?
Beal out and Murray starting was what I had.
Beal out and Murray out.
No, yeah, Murray out. Yeah, sorry. Excuse me.
Okay, let me look at San Antonio.
I get that one wrong.
So I still have Murray in still, so I'm gonna wait a few minutes.
Yeah. It's interesting with my Dodgers stacks. I noticed my tendency is, look, if I'm gonna play a 5-man, I want to get in there. But if I want to play a 4-man or even a 3-man as a secondary stack, I kind of like the idea of skipping Mookie more in general, just because he has less power than the other guys who are cheaper than him. That's simple as that. And I find myself doing it more and more. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that's where I'm sort of winding up on that.
Let me take a look what we got here. Weather adjusted. Who are your favorite pitchers on DK? Do you answer these? I can go ahead and answer them.
All right, go ahead. Yeah.
So I see someone says Darren Roof season. Yeah, I'll probably end up with some of him, and I'll probably end up with some of the San Francisco stuff because I have some Seattles, and if I change my mind and I want to pivot to San Francisco, whatever it is. I do know the Haniger is probably probably going to be really popular. So maybe I'll change my mind. Maybe I'll go to San Francisco.
I like
Love Hap. Someone saying James Carpenter. Okay. I hate to say this, honestly. I hate to be like the Grinch that stole statistics, but like even more so than basketball, it's just so impossible to love anybody in baseball. You know what I mean? Like it's just
I feel the opposite a little. I know what you mean, but I sort of feel differently about it because I like finding. I just feel like it's so easy to find edge in some of these spots.
No, but I'm just saying, just how often these guys fail. You know, it's like.
Oh, right, exactly, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you get Corey Seager and Fernando Tatis, for example, and like one of them just for whatever reason ends up like 15% owned more than the other one. I mean, it's just ridiculous. You know, it's you can make up all the reasons why. You know, like one might be a little bit better than the other, but these are two like elite players. And the question of who gets a home run versus whatever is a matter of pitch choice and 1 millimeter off or whatever. And if one guy's going to be like really chalky on there, it's like ridiculous. So, I mean, like love it. You can love a play. In other words, like if I can love a play, meaning that this is a pretty good play and he's low owned, but to fall in love with a particular spot for like a hitter it's rough statistically in GPPs. So I hate to be the whatever. QQ, can you fade DeGrom and run a Seattle stack? You could do even better than that. You could play DeGrom and run a Seattle stack.
And you'll still be okay. That's right. I like what RJFL is saying too a little bit. I'm not doing the Giants thing very much, but like when I did build a script, because I might enter all the ones on FanDuel, the big whatever the million person lottery thing. But I kind of like that idea of those exact 4 hitters. I have all interest in all 4 of those, so I would definitely sign off on that little San Francisco stack that he's talking about over there.
Any new? I have one update. Let's see. But it's not all of them. I want to do them all at once. Let me see if there's any. So Malachi. So it's going to be NATO. Yeah. Look who's going to pop. I knew it. Vassal.
Ugh.
Ish.
Ugh.
Yeah, this is this is the unread slate. I mean, we're not going to, but this is totally.
Every time I feel like that cheats, though, we end up winning something. I swear.
Hey, hashtag whatever works.
Exactly.
You're gonna have the Malachi Flynn, Chris Boucher stat double. You know, yeah. Here we go. Huh?
Yeah. Ugh. Okay, so any other questions that you noticed there? I'll jump over there in a second. I'm just fixing my lineup here.
See DraftKings.
Getting a little bit more DeGrom on DraftKings because I don't have it quite as much as I want.
Let's see what we have here. Devin Vassell, top value. Vassell, Flynn, Stewart. Look at these players. Tony Bradley, Raul Neto. Let's go. I think the first guy I've heard of, the first guy that I would have heard of, like before DFS, is like, I guess I might have heard of Chris Boucher. Maybe. Terrain Princess Smith. There's Harden. I've heard of him. He's like 12th. DeAndre Bembry. Forgot about him, huh? He's going to. What about Boban? Is he starting?
I didn't get his Boban starting. Did you? I haven't.
No, but I'm looking at he's popping in a couple of things. I mean, there's no Porzingis. Who knows? He could start.
Yeah, let me answer the questions real quick before we jump into all this because I'm sort of transitioning. Let's see.
NBA.
Westbrook, Neto, Avdia, Bertans, and Len. Pretty much what we thought. Jugga says he's not big on Stewart. I honestly think that I don't have a lineup without Stewart, and I don't think I'm going to change that.
The one thing about there's a couple of arguments. One argument you can make against Stewart is that he's definitely prone to foul trouble.
Yeah, he gets all 6 of them, so doesn't matter to me. And the other one was a favorite team to stack other than the Dodgers. I didn't say the Dodgers were my favorite team to stack. I never said that.
I didn't either.
And yeah, so that was not my first team. I like mini stacks more on smaller slates, so I do a little bit of that on DraftKings and less so on FanDuel. I would say that the White Sox Cubs. The Cubs and Mets make the most sense, but for ownership reasons, the White Sox and Padres stand out to me. So that's what I would be saying is full stacks. And my favorite 4 pitchers are on DraftKings are sadly DeGrom. Well, not DeGrom, obvious. DeGrom's obvious. Rodon, Dustin May, and Nick Pivetta. And I don't feel great about the Nick Pivetta, so I'm probably going to find a pivot in my other big one that I currently have Pivetta holding down. I do like Pivetta's. I think he actually has upside. I think I might leave him. I don't know. I'm sort of stuck on this one. I think some people are going to play Frankie Montas. I would not recommend doing too much of that. I think he'll actually have ownership, and I don't think that he is. I just don't. I don't love taking an Oakland pitcher against this Dodger team with a DH, even if the bottom of the order says, "Oh, you say Rios and McKinstry." Look at Rios has power numbers; they're absurd.
Not only that, but I do think that that wind even blowing out a little bit is plus the humidity is just it's bad news for that game as far as pitchers go. That's the only thing that worries me about the Dustin May play.
Yeah. I think if you're playing a ton of lineups, you want to play some Matt Moore. I think you want to try and pick on him in general. But if you're playing a ton, and I think DeScalfani is the other one, even though I mentioned the Padres stack, I do really like DeScalfani as a long shot tournament play. And very easy to get in with my nice Dodgers Brewers stack that I've got going. But yeah, my favorite, I have more favorite like hit. I love Pilar. Really, really good splits here. I think Haniger is going to be popular, but I actually love him. I love he and Meadows the most as like just cash game type of plays that I'm using. But Chris Bryant is standing out at third base because of the lack of the position, and it's a good situation for him. He actually looks pretty good at the plate this year for a change.
Yeah, you know who you missed yesterday over the weekend. When me and Carp were talking about him when they had my man hitting first, the Luplow with the splits.
Wait, Luplow. Damn, I love him
first. And I remember we were worried. I was worried last year that he would always get pinch hit for later, and we were talking about it. I'm like, but he's hitting first. I think he hit a home run his first at bat. I think. Oh
man, that's always beautiful when that happens, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see. We got Raptors starters are Bembry, Trent. OG. Wait a minute, is that right? I got to double check this. They announced Malachi Flynn would start for the injured Van Fleet before, and now they're
okay.
So let's double check this. They actually I got the notification saying Malachi Flynn would start for the injured Van Fleet, and now
but it's not.
James is a smart guy, and he usually gets it pretty right. So he said they're starting those guys, and so he is right. They're not starting Malachi Flynn.
So Malachi Flynn is not starting. Here we go.
DeAndre Bembry is completely fine here, guys, and so is Malachi Flynn. That's the truth. If you're playing 2 lineups, I would probably split them up. That I really think that they're both firmly in play. Yeah. Bembry they make him small forward eligible. What a dumb thing they did.
Who?
Malachi. Just small forward eligible. And anyone who's worried about playing Westbrook, and look, they could get blown out for sure. Obviously, it's lessened the chance without Van Fleet and Lowry. But if you look at the last games, even though he played the minutes, they lost the game by 29, and by 22. And weirdly enough, he actually would have played like 40 plus minutes in those. He was trying to help the comeback or whatever, but then they pulled him off the court. So he would have been around 60 probably, maybe even a little higher. And this is the premium matchup. So I wouldn't be fading Westbrook today personally. I don't see it as an option. At least not one that I'm considering.
Well, we could talk theoretically if you want. Like what ownership would he have to be for you to fade it? I mean, there's got to be some amount, right?
No.
Okay.
I'm not playing enough lineups to where I need to do that.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Well, Melly is starting for Dallas.
And there you have it.
Okay, we need some updated projections here. This is kind of crazy. Kind of craziness. I have to mass enter on FanDuel. Guys, keep popping thoughts in and questions because it's rough. And remember, please give us the like and subscribe and all that stuff.
How many minutes do we think for Malachi Flynn then?
I mean, that's tough, I guess. I think there's upside of 30 and there's downside of 20, maybe a little less. They don't have that many. I mean, they're down to 9 bodies, I think, maybe 10. Let me see. think it's 9. And that's including like Watanabe, who hasn't been playing much. I mean, Stanley Johnson is a good deep tournament flyer, by the way. Like that's another one you can.
There's no chance that I'm playing enough lineups where I get to that.
I'm just throwing it out there that there's going to be one of those guys is going to put up 30 fantasy points at minimum cost, maybe 2, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if it's him. That's all I'm trying to say. It's a D tournament. Yeah, that's pretty nuts. Where are we standing? Where are you standing? I should say on the what's his name on the guy we talked about earlier, Terrain Prince.
I'm going to do a run, and I'll just let you know where I come out on him. And I wasn't particularly sold.
I kind of been with you a little bit.
But now he'll be under 10%. So.
Yeah, but I still think, as I was going to say, is that we got a guy who just played 30 some odd minutes, who now you get low ownership on, lowish ownership. I really think that this OKC situation is really hard to stay away from. And I like both sides of that game for what it's worth. Like, you know what I mean? I like the Detroit side on FanDuel, and obviously you got Stewart on both sides. But I like, Bay, and even I don't love Svi, but he's 3,800. I mean, that's a very affordable price for a guy who's going to, in an 8-man rotation, that's going to play 32 minutes, 34, maybe 35 minutes. I don't know, somewhere in that range.
Heard something interesting for those who were whatchamacallit. People might have been game log watching. They saw that Rashard Holmes in his game against Milwaukee only got like 25 minutes or something. They actually ran with like a small ball lineup for a while, but I think in one of the postmortems or something, it was something about the way Milwaukee was playing that they just didn't want to go have anybody deal with Lopez out there or something where they were dealing the pick and roll. So that was why they didn't have Holmes out there.
It happens to him sometimes, by the way.
Yeah.
Lonzo Davis. I guess this is gonna be Cuz.
Let me see what this all looks like.
All right, real quick shot at questions. No question. OKC added 2 more bodies. Yeah, I mean these guys are still going to play minutes though. I do appreciate the heads up though. That's good. That's good information. I appreciate it. I still like the OKC side of this game a lot. Boy, stacking the Cubs on. Yeah, I really like that you play. You know how you stack the Cubs on FanDuel? You play Rizzo and you play Contreras together and lock up that spot. That's how you stack them, in my opinion, because that'll be the way to do it. Rizzo and Contreras in the same lineup. That will definitely be an unusual way to go. I promise you.
Is it bad that I'm not really playing much? I guess I'm playing a little bit of Cubs.
I like both sides of that game too, but it's so chalky that I'm trying to stay away a little bit from it. And I don't feel the need to do this quite as much. So let's do this. Hap and Bote. Hap will be more owned than Bote, obviously, but I do like Hap better than Bote.
Yeah, these are all just kind of ridiculous. Like all these are good values. But I'm still getting a lot of this Tony Bradley business.
Tony Bradley. That's okay. There's he can definitely get there. I mean, I don't think that's a problem.
Okay. See something.
I need to find a cheap. There's no real
cheap. What? That's all I got is cheap. We got plenty of cheap. What do you need?
I just think it's wrong. I think it's statistically wrong to try to play a cheap shortstop for the.
Oh, you're back to baseball. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, sorry. I just had to edit these because I realized the games start at 4, so I obviously need to finish up. And do that and fade Chris Bryant. That's interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4. Damn it. It is interesting to try and do that, actually.
What, fade Chris Bryant?
In my Cub stacks only.
Screw Chris Bryant.
I still like him today, but I want to use him as a one-off and I'm trying to get creative with the stack that if I'm going to play a chalky stack, I need to get a little creative. Evan Longoria makes a lot of sense on FanDuel. Guys, we're getting some questions in Discord. If anybody's watching this while playing Discord, just enter the questions on here if you happen to be doing that.
Okay, so you see,
Here we go. All right, save those changes, enter more contests, and then we're back to basketball.
Neto's probably going to be pretty not that popular. He'll get ownership though.
Neto?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where I stand. To be honest, that sort of opens up the Ish Smith secondary run and everything.
I know.
So that's where I'm a little bit, I guess, stuck on it.
We can't play Kevin Love, right?
I'm not playing Kevin Love. I understand that the price is cheap and that he might get there, but it just seems like there's better plays, at least to me.
Yeah.
And JD Davis. I got the Dodgers with them. That's perfect. I love this lineup. 1, 2, 3. Wait, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. That's a beautiful lineup. I'm different than you. I feel good about all my baseball lineups, even the ones that are counteracting the other ones. So I obviously can't win them all, but they all feel like they're going to win.
Well, it's really funny. I always say that about baseball. Always feels like you have something good.
Yeah, it does. And then the games start, and you go, "Oh, this guy who's the best player on this."
And then somebody hits a home run. You're like, "Who?"
Yeah, you're like, "What the hell just happened? How did that guy hit a home run? The wind's blowing and this and that."
Yeah,
Melly or Bertans? Neither is my instinctual answer. Probably neither would be my answer to that, I guess. And we're going to have to do the NBA now. I've got to edit my lineups. I have to get a projection. Have you got anything new on Melly?
No.
Nor have I.
Bembry is really going to win a GPP?
I mean, look, two of those guys are gonna score 30 fantasy points. I'm not saying which ones they are. Out of Flynn, him, Stanley Johnson. I mean, could he put you in a position to where you're gonna have other shots, at other guys, but he's I would put him ahead of all the ahead of Bradley, ahead of Prince, for sure ahead of Bertans. If they really are going to play Bertans more minutes, though, I didn't realize that. Why is his minutes? I don't know if I buy his minutes projection being 26 with him coming back, but if he does, then I kind of am okay with Bertans. Actually, It's a little different than what I thought I was going to say earlier in the day.
This is what we would do.
But you want to play the Raptor. You want to play Westbrook. You want to play Siakam. You want to play Gary Trent on FanDuel. You want to play probably one of those value guys from the Raptors in that game, and then you want to play Isaiah Stewart. I am playing all those guys. Westbrook is a lock to answer that question. Yes.
More of a lock. And we talked about this at length earlier. So, who's more of a lock though? Like him or Luka?
Oh, it's not even close. It's Westbrook, I think. I mean, Luka might outscore him, but Luka without Porzingis is not. I mean, Westbrook is basically he has to get, if his non-blowout floor is, I think 65, 60. I really do. Non-blowout, non-injury, I guess foul trouble you could include in that. But let's see. I've got Johnson here. And I love Anunoby, by the way, too. Maybe he gets forgotten about a little bit.
You like Patty Mills?
No.
Okay.
I mean, it's Patty Mills is the same all the time, I feel like. Where are we at with DeRozan's projection here now? Should be much higher. And Derek White. Derek White is 6.3 over here. Ooh, a lot better play on FanDuel. But yeah, DDR definitely should be in play for all of us. I don't like Garland, by the way, to that question.
You know, like Garland?
No.
Maybe I'm supposed to play Torian Prince.
Right now, I'm playing him in half of my very short amount of lineups on DraftKings. Boy, they're really going to play. I guess if they're going to play Neto. It's a lot of minutes for Neto. I prefer I put it out there. I prefer Ty Jerome to Neto. I will have some of both. But Neto will be in my game stacks.
It'll be in your game stacks.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Are they going to let Harden go off like no owned?
I mean, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't think he's going to be no owned though, is he? Because I don't. While it is a better spot for Luka than Harden, it's not like no one's going to think of playing Harden instead of Luka at the same price. He might be really low owned on FanDuel. No, it's still probably going to get some because people are going to just pay out.
No problem.
I think Harden's going to project basically the same or better than Luka. All right. Shooting guard, Brett.
1. Cat.
Could play Flynn and leave money on the table. I don't really want to do that. DeRozan, Newbie, Bembry. Yeah, this is a weird NBA slate. I'm just gonna take a look and see if there's any other questions. Carlos Ortiz. Yeah, let's talk about the Masters another day, guys. I'm very into it, but I really don't want to do it today.
We will definitely go over it.
We'll be into it. That's for sure.
Okay, this looks good. Yep. All right, sounds good to me. We'll just do FanDuel now.
Rosen. All right. Can Buddy Hield keep playing this poorly? I don't know if he can.
Oh, yeah.
I think people in DFS would be shocked if they saw Buddy Hield's shooting percentages, how good they are. Like overall, like for his, most of his career. He's talked about like he's like the worst thing that's ever happened to people. And
well, no, the guy could always shoot, right?
Yeah. I still feel worried about not having enough of OKC.
Look at all these guys. Oh my god.
On DraftKings, not on FanDuel. Plenty of them.
Yeah, she's gonna get
White, DeRozan, Samanic is starting too, and here's another cheap one. Johnson and Podol. Bradley. Gujewski. Gujewski was my guy.
Kevin Porter. Oh, Samanic starting for the Spurs. You just said that, right? Okay.
Yeah. Poku.
Yeah,
Wait, Boucher's actually in the starting lineup tonight.
That good?
something that matters. Yes, I think that does matter.
That's good, right?
Yeah. It's good until he picked the second foul like 2 minutes into the game, but it's good until then. None of these guys can be shooting guards. I mean, come on, guys. Driving me nuts. Cannot get this build down.
That's good. Let's do this one more time. Oh, 8 minutes left. Plenty of time. Good grief.
I'm leaving money on the table currently on DraftKings.
Why not?
I don't think it's like I don't want another player instead of the guys I've got. So I'm not going to do it.
This could be one of those.
Yeah.
What about Diallo tonight?
No. Well, I shouldn't say no. I guess I should say no. I mean, they have literally like 75 guys on their roster. He's not starting.
Okay.
I don't think. Not unless I missed something. Flynn's will play Bembry over here. Bembry. And Siakam. Okay, and then Maladon. Got a minimum cost shooting guard for me?
Yeah.
Near minimum? You do?
On DraftKings?
Vassal?
Yep.
Should we embrace the variance on this one? This is the kind of game he could get into for a little bit. It just they never got push him past his minutes.
I mean, like, if it was easy, it wouldn't be 3,100, right?
Yeah, fair enough. I got a way to rebuild this. Bembry, Siakam. Wait, there's more new Siakam. I mean, is there anybody else cheap at shooting guard we have, like other than Ty Jerome? Rel Neto.
No, I'm not doing that. Naz Reid, not today.
Best play at 3,100 any position. Bembry, I guess, is probably the answer. But I've already got him in his lineup. So, boy, I can't really bring myself to do the Killian Hayes thing.
Killian Hayes, huh?
I really like these builds, and I need exactly 3K. I think I might go Stanley Johnson. I'm going to go for it, man.
Stanley?
Yeah, like there's a lot of ways this game could play that he ends up getting run. He's been playing around 20 anyway. I don't love that I have he and Bembry currently in the same lineup. That part I wish I didn't. But there's still a path for that to happen. Probably would just be Boucher out because you don't need to play big against Washington. They'll have Len out there a little bit, but you really don't need to play that big. Wow, that's a weird one. I don't know about how I feel about it, but I'm going to go with it anyway. And then FanDuel one. All right, let's get this right.
One more thing I have to do.
Let's see if there's any other questions. Barnes or neither for me. Neither Barnes or Johnson for me. That's my answer to that one.
That looks good. That looks good. Now it's gonna put. Oh, that's brutal. Yep.
How come Boucher is not popping a little bit more? Am I missing something?
Yeah, I just did kind of. I ended up settling on. Well, wait till 7 o'clock before I actually.
No, but I mean, how about on FanDuel then? Let's talk about on FanDuel. Why isn't he popping more?
I don't know. I got him in every one of my lineups.
But this is also why it's not a non-registered slate sheet. You know why? Because it'll be over, and we don't have to worry about anything else after the first games. I'm not playing the other games, so I don't really have anything to worry about.
And I even got I got a couple of
I feel like it's a Boucher game. I'm sorry, I do.
Wait, what is this? 56.
For small forward, oh my God, there's really not a lot. Keldon Johnson is actually a good play on FanDuel, I think.
Hey, you know better than me.
All right, guys, I'll say that then. Keldon Johnson versus Kenrich Williams straight up is really tough for me. But we've seen Keldon Johnson have those show games. Kenrich is just sort of, you feel more consistent with him. But Keldon Johnson was on fire in the last game, so I don't want to give him too much for that. Can you upgrade shooting guard from Svi? I don't know if we can. Sterling Brown would be the next best play, probably. Sterling Brown, who cost me. Oh, that was really brutal, that one there. I can't believe I'm playing these guys over Saddiq Bey, but there's the minutes are there. And I'm straight up playing Boucher over Olynyk, which feels weird. I'm leaving the money on the table.
Okay.
Maybe that's not right. I'll split it up. Yeah, something feels weird about having three big lineups and having Boucher in all three. But I really like him in this matchup. Oh, I didn't get all my baseball things in. Shoot, that's a shame.
Yeah, I need one $2,200 guy on FanDuel in the utility spot.
There's a few guys.
Vaughn.
There's better than that, I think. Marisnik. Vaughn. Those are both.
Madrigal is leading off for the White Sox.
Yeah, I saw that. You can play him too. Come on, baby. Work faster. Let's go.
Huh?
And we're going to play Boucher here. And we are going to play.
All right. Yeah, I ended up on DraftKings in the biggest one.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna chalk out here. I stacked this Washington game.
Yeah, I did a little bit too. It makes the most sense, obviously, but it's hard. But there's, let's see you're going to have to go, obviously, but, It's going to be interesting to see what the ownership is in just a minute, because I do think that there's so much, when so much comes in like that, things might actually not be quite as, obviously Anunoby and those guys are going to be owned, but Flynn, I think, is a guy I took a shot on. Yeah, there's a lot of other ways to go, I think, too.
All right, guys. Good luck with baseball and basketball and anybody still alive with the 2-game League of Legends slate from earlier today, whatever it is. Good luck, everybody, and we want a big sweat tonight from somebody.
Yeah. All right, guys. Let us know. Good luck.